More tears are shed over answered prayers than unanswered ones.
This line by Truman Capote encapsulates the paradox of a man who ascended to literary fame and social glamour, yet was undone by his own ambitions. Capote's Southern upbringing gave him a vivid imagination and a magnetic charm, but it also left him with a need for approval and an obsession with high society. These contradictions would shape both his literary legacy and his life of both glitter and scandal. Truman Capote, the master of high society and literary innovation. Introduction: A Christmas Memory. Capote's short story. A Christmas Memory offers a rare look into his childhood, a glimpse of the boy who later became the celebrated writer. In this nostalgic tale, Capote depicts his bond with an eccentric, childlike cousin named Sook as they venture into the woods to find a Christmas tree. His evocative prose transports us, capturing his longing for the warmth and innocence of those years, tempered by the early trauma of abandonment.
Here, there, a flash, a flutter, lemony sun pools and pitch-black vine tunnels.
This early work showed Capote's gift for capturing the essence of people and places. Raised in Monroeville, Alabama, and largely neglected by his parents, Capote's childhood experiences fueled both his imagination and a deep-seated need for validation. Chapter 1. A Literary Prodigy and Early Successes. Truman Capote's literary journey began in Monroeville, Alabama, where he befriended Harper Lee, the future author of To Kill a Mockingbird. Capote was a prodigious writer. Publishing his first short story by age 10, Capote quickly distinguished himself with his unique voice and sharp observational skills. His first novel, Other Voices, Other Rooms, became a sensation. The haunting prose and semi-autobiographical elements revealed a writer unafraid to explore his own vulnerabilities.
I wanted to be both observer and observed, to dive into the depths of what made us human.
Capote's fame soared, but this was only the beginning of his ambition. He yearned to push the boundaries of traditional literature, seeking a project that would combine his love for storytelling with his fascination for real-life drama. Chapter 2. In Cold Blood, Triumph and the Toll of Truth. Capote's crowning achievement, In Cold Blood, blurred the lines between fact and fiction and pioneered a new genre. Capote spent years in Kansas, deeply entrenching himself in the lives of the Clutter family and their killers, Perry Smith and Richard Hickok. His narrative approach, combining investigative journalism with novelistic storytelling, would come to define new journalism.
It was my intention to write a factual account that would read like a novel. I wanted readers to experience it as if they were in the room with me.
Capote's dedication to the project came at a personal cost. He forged an unlikely bond with Perry Smith, one of the convicted killers, a connection that blurred the line between empathy and obsession. Capote later admitted,
I lost a part of myself to that book.
This complicated bond left him questioning whether he was documenting the truth or becoming a part of the tragedy he wrote about. Capote's friend Harper Lee, who had accompanied him to Kansas and helped with interviews, played a crucial role in gathering key information and coaxing witnesses to speak. Yet, in his fixation on the spotlight, Capote failed to credit her contributions publicly, an omission that would fracture their friendship. When In Cold Blood was published in 1966, it was both a critical and commercial triumph, praised for its psychological insight and haunting realism. But Capote's version of the truth was not as immaculate as he claimed. Despite his insistence on 95% accuracy, later investigations revealed discrepancies, including his flattering portrayal of Kansas lawman Alvin Dewey Jr., with whom he'd developed a close rapport.
Truman was a famous but charming liar. He knew how to make any story captivating, even if that meant bending the facts.
Capote's need for attention, his ability to manipulate narratives, and his dismissal of others' contributions revealed a self-centeredness that foreshadowed a darker descent. The success of In Cold Blood brought him fame and influence, but it also exposed cracks in his character. Driven by a desire to control both his story and others, Capote's relationship with truth became as complex as the lives he chronicled. Chapter 3. The Glittering Heights of High Society. Capote was as much a social figure as he was a writer. Standing at about 5 feet 3 inches tall, he embraced his flamboyant persona, describing himself as
about as tall as a shotgun and just as noisy.
with his sharp tongue and high-pitched voice, so distinct that writer George Plimpton once quipped, "Gore Vidal said it could only be understood by dogs." Capote relished the attention his presence commanded on talk shows, always delivering pithy one-liners that kept audiences entertained. But behind the charm and wit was a man carefully rehearsing every story he told. George Plimpton revealed that Capote would plan which anecdotes to share during visits with friends, ensuring he was always the life of the party, and whether those stories were true was often beside the point. In 1966, Capote reached the peak of his influence with the legendary black and white ball at New York's Plaza Hotel, a night of glamour and spectacle attended by celebrities, politicians, and high society's elite. This was Capote's moment in the sun, but it was also the beginning of a more precarious period. Capote didn't crave literary fame alone. He longed for the approval of high society. His charm won over New York's most glamorous women, Babe Paley, Slim Keith, CZ Guest, whom he affectionately dubbed his swans.
These women lived in a rarefied world, and I was their jester, their confidant. They gave me access to a life most people only dream of.
Yet Capote was never truly accepted as one of them. Though he reveled in his role as the witty confidant, he remained the Southern outsider, forever balancing admiration with envy. This desire to belong eventually led him to exploit the secrets of those closest to him, setting the stage for his betrayal. Chapter 4: Answered Prayers and the Fall from Grace. Capote's thirst for attention led him down a dangerous path with his unfinished novel, Answered Prayers. In 1976, Capote published excerpts in Esquire, exposing the darkest secrets of the very people who had once embraced him. Columnist William F. Buckley Jr. remarked that Answered Prayers
finished Truman Capote's social life as decisively as a hangman's trapdoor.
Suddenly, friends turned their backs, phone calls stopped, and invitations disappeared, leaving Capote to retreat into alcohol and pills. Around this time, Capote took on the satirical role of homicide victim Lionel Twain in Neil Simon's Murder by Death, a darkly ironic casting, as many in his own social circle now wished him no better.
Truman bit the hand that fed him. He exposed everything we held dear, and there was no going back.
The high society world he'd yearned to be part of was gone. Estranged, he spiraled further into addiction. The hunger for approval and validation that had fueled his success now fed his decline, leaving him isolated in the very city where he'd once reigned supreme. Conclusion: Truman Capote's enduring legacy. Despite his fall from grace, Capote's influence on literature is undeniable. Works like In Cold Blood still echo in contemporary journalism, while his exploration of human nature's darker edges resonates across time.
Life is a moderately good play with a badly written third act.
By his death in 1984, Capote had lived a life full of contradictions, wildly talented yet deeply troubled, celebrated but ultimately ostracized. His life and legacy serve as a cautionary tale, a reminder that genius and ambition, without integrity, can leave even the most brilliant of stars burning alone. Teaser for next episode. From New York's glittering heights to espionage's shadowy depths, join us next time as we explore the life of Mata Hari, the exotic dancer who became a spy. Was she a double agent or a scapegoat in wartime politics? Stay tuned as we unravel the mystery behind Mata Hari.